Friends, welcome to our DF channel. Kining busig so na Dr. DF, researcher, author, and Juris Doctor, will invite ako kamong gidapit mga buhing santos sa tibok kalibutan, 8 billion people around the world and the 116 million Filipinos. Ang atong paghisgutan karon, the seventh millennium is key leadership through the theology of the body. I am all calling the three types of generations. Tulo ka mga andana sa mga generations nga mao'y mudumala for the global leadership. First, we are calling the attention of the Generation X. Ang Generation X is 1965 to the year 1980, the leadership for the seventh millennium. And this is supported by the millennial generation. The millennial generation Y natao sa 1981 to the year 2000. And finally, the generation Alpha natao 2001 onward, generation Alpha. Now, ang atong paghisgutan karon, the seventh millennium is key leadership through the theology of the body. And this is key leadership aging from 15 years old to 30 years old and qualified to run as sangguniang kabataan official until the age of 24 years old. So nining puntuha karon, ang isgutan ta, the Iski leadership, the seventh millennium leadership through the theology of the body. And this Iski leadership covers the millennial generation Y kadtong natao that's from 2023 downward na kana that is year 1997 o 1993 something. So nining puntuha karon, yes, 1993 okay to 2023 that's na-covered na sa millennial generation Y and also the generation Alpha katong natao na sa 2001 hanggang karon, no? So nining putuha at the age of 15. So that's the coverage of the seventh millennium Iski leadership. Now, what is the challenge? Ako kamong gitawagan tanan nga mga katipunan ng mga kabataan, ang mga sangguniang kabataan. You are now filing your certificates of candidacy. We have the book reserved for you. The Legislative and Leadership Youth Manual. Ito po ang book which is reserved for you. And this book is dedicated for your legislative performance and also leadership performance for the sangguniang kabataan. Ito po ang pinag-reserve po sa lahat ng mga Iski officials of the 42,027 barangays nationwide. Now, ano ba ang challenge of all the sangguniang kabataan and the katipunan ng mga kabataan? The katipunan ng mga kabataan aging 15 years old to 30 years old. Sangguniang kabataan. Ito po, until the age of 24, the officers of the katipunan ng kabataan. Ano ang challenge po ninyo? What is the main problem confronted by the katipunan ng mga kabataan? Ano ang problema, lalo na sa officers of the sangguniang kabataan? This is the existing social problem as discussed by the Congress of the Philippines. The rising incidence of teenage and child pregnancy. Totoo ba talaga na ang mga kabatipunan ng mga kabataan, yung the youth of today are victims of this child or teenage pregnancy? Is it really true as based on data and there is a legislative action to that effect? Sa'yo talaga. Sa'yo, you are the real parties in interest. Kaya nga, if we have to drive the future of our nation, the Philippines, take note, kayo mga millennials, aging at birth from 1981 to the year 2000, yan ang millennials. And Generation Alpha, birth 2001 onwards, yan ang Generation Alpha. Kami, we are at Generation X. We have to support for your future. It is our prime obligation. Kami talaga, 1, 2, 3 po tayo. We will never separate these three types of generations. Generation X, Generation Y, at saka yung Generation Z. Ito talaga. Now, ano ba ang gawin? Out of this problem, the rising incidence of teenage and child pregnancy. Ano ang wrong solution? Solving the problem by attacking the effect, not the root cause of the problem, which is the root problem, is making another problem. Ang tanong po kay Sir Abundio Bastasa Jr. of the Sangguniang Bayan of Loon, Bohol, ano talaga ang two kinds of problems? Dalawa, take note is key. Take note, katipunan ng mga kabataan. You are the future leaders not only in this land of the morning, the Philippines, but you are the future leaders in the Asian continent. Kayo mga sangguniang kabataan, katipunan ng mga kabataan, kayo ang future leaders of the world, the Filipino, the Oferian leaders. Kaya kinakailangan tayong alam ng mga principles of leadership. We have this book reserved for you. 5-Star Leadership Manual. Ito ang 55 rules on leadership worldwide. Kaya leadership sa sangguniang kabataan, leadership in the barangay, principles of leadership in the municipality, principles of leadership in the cities, principles of leadership in the provinces, principles of leadership nationwide, principles of leadership in the Asian continent, and principles of leadership worldwide. Ito ang 5-Star Leadership Manual. Sa iyo po ito, Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Z, at saka Generation Alpha. Ito talaga. And so, ano ba? In order to correctly, perfectly solve the problem, please classify the problem. There are two. Effectual problem and causal problem. Ano ang effectual problem? Yang nakita po natin. Example, this teenage or child pregnancy, ito ang effectual problem. Kaya nga, sa tanong kay Sir Gigi Istuki, ano ang ikapangalawang uri ng problem? It is causal problem. What is the causal problem? It is the root cause problem. Kaya, in solving the two kinds of problem, effectual and causal or root cause problem, kapag you solve the effectual problem, manatili pa rin ang problems. That's the effect. Kung solbaron ang effectual problem, ang resulta, the same problem remains and it even multiplies. Because, as Saint Matthew chapter 15 verse 14 has instructed us, ang buta maggiyag laing buta, silang duha mga hulog sa kanal. In other words, if there is a wrong formula in solving the problem, then the person who guides in supposedly solving the problem, ano ang mangyari? They will follow the wrong but widest road to hell. Matthew 7 verse 13. Ito ang dinadaanan sa 99% sa mga tao sa buong mundo. Saint Matthew has warned us that the very widest road is what the peoples of the world maukini ang agian sa kadaghanan sa katawhan sa tibuok kalibutan. And only 1%, pagkagamay lang ang nakatultol sa eksakto nga dalan, sa pigot nga dalan. Matthew 7 verse 14. And so, of the 8 billion people worldwide population, of the 4.6 billion people population in Asia, of the 116 million people, the Filipinos, how many is the percentage that they are doing in the right direction? Kaunti lang, kaunti lang. Bakit ito ang nangyari? Because of colonial mentality. Dito sa utak. Dito, it's the root cause. Kaya nga, anong nangyari sa buong mundo? We are enslaved in colonial mentality. Anong diktar sa Western powers? Ano ba itong Western powers? Ito ang European powers. Ito ang American powers dominated by the United States of America. Ito talaga. Now, ano ang nangyari? As opined and manifested by Sir Abundio Bastasa, marami namang lots of factors. Nowadays, ang youth are influenced by the world media, specifically the leading itong mga perversion in which people can access without restriction. Ito ang nangyari sa media. The media is influenced on the evils of the society. Kaya this teenage and child pregnancy, kaya the effectual problem. What's the root cause? Yan. Ano ang root cause? Kaya, maliban ito, ang media influence, those media influence, etc., influence pa rin ito sa root cause. Kaya we are dominated. Ano ang dictate sa Western pag-practice na nila? There is no such sanctity of human life. Pinaggawa nila ang sex not just a matter of games. Kaya ano ang nangyari? That is the teenage, the child pregnancy. And we have discussed in 7th M, episode number 18, what happens? Bakit ang Supreme Court has ruled sustaining the constitutionality of Republic Act, RH Reproductive Health Act, despite the fact na ito ang nangyari? It's because influence talaga sa Western powers, authors, the President Nancy sa yung abortion organization worldwide based on New York. Ito po talaga. Kaya ano ang kanilang practice? It's adapted in the Philippines. We are following. Now dance with the music. So, back to the main problem. The effectual problem is the rising incidence of teenage and child pregnancy. Ano ang solusyon nila? Ang solusyon para wala ng teenage pregnancy, use condom, use pills, use contraception. Solution number 1. Solution number 2, sex education. Educate them on safe sex, etc. Solution number 3, mayroong post-abortion mechanisms. Ito ang nangyari. Kaya nga, laman in tuto of that Reproductive Health Act. Although, parang makita na good ang dating, marami namang mga provisions. Kaya Saint Paul has warned in 2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 14. Remember, Satan can deceive people by appearing to be good, apparently correct, but actually wrong. You are correct in a wrong way. Kaya itong mga batas are correct, but they are in a wrong way. Correct po ito. Dahil ang gusto nila good, but they are in a wrong way. Bakit wrong way? Wrong na daan. Ang daan na kanilang what they are following is the road to hell. Bakit road to hell? Because ang kanilang nasa sa isip, it is freedom. Seeks freedom against divine plan, against divine will, against divine laws. Kaya, ang nangyari po, decriminalization, wala ng penalty, yung mga violations. Kaya, if you have to review on that law, mayroon bang penalty ng mga fornication? Mayroon bang mga penalty na habal diri, takmag diri, etc.? As long as magkasinapot. As long as you use contraceptions. Ito ang nangyari. Kaya out of that effectual problem is a wrong solution. What is a wrong solution? Kaya ano ang correct solution to the problem? It is by knowing the root cause. Ano ang root cause sa teenage pregnancy? Ano ang root cause sa child pregnancy? Kaya, solving the root problem will evidently and consequently solve the effectual problem. Kayo, mga iski, you are now the real parties in interest. Sa tanong po kay Madam Anita Tabada, ano ang solusyon? In dedication, in defense of the future of the young generations, of the sangguniang kabataan nationwide, of the katipunan ng kabataan nationwide. Ano ang solusyon? In solving the specific problem of teenage and child pregnancy, we have to trace the root cause of the problem. And by tracing up the root problem, then the result, it will consequently solve the effectual problem. Ito ang mangyari. Kaya in order for us to digest ano ang root cause problem, example, ito, ang my very close friend, the most outstanding Buholano, Sir Koy Punti, he was admitted in top 1 hospital in Cebu, not in Bohol. I-surrender siya. He went to Cebu dahil may nag-ubo, nagtika, etc. And he could not understand why. Ano ang nangyari? Question po kay Sir Kidong Kads.
so much medicines, mga medisina gidapat niya. Nothing happened. Nothing. So he surrender siya. Napakarami ng gasto sa ospital. The same. Walang healing. Kaya when he went home, sinabihan ko, baka you have do na kay piang. Do na kay piang. So, I guided him. Ako siyang gidala dito sa manghihilot. And then, pag-abot sa manghihilot, diretso lang tutok dire. Kas alag pislet. Pagkas aratig-ik siya. What happened? Pagkaugma, wala na'y sakit. Wala na mo tika. Wala na mo upo. Why? Because ang tanong po kay Sir Glenn Nars Tinampay Navarro, the root cause, ang root cause sa kanyang sickness, ailment, bodily yung problems po niya. Cough is the effectual problem. Ang ubo niya was the effectual problem. But the root problem, itong piang, ang piang niya, that was the root cause. Kaya, heal the root cause and the effects will be healed. And so what happened? It was healed. So, nalipay siya. Mo naman ang maong manghilot, karafista, mon hagloon. So, this is the scenario of the Philippines and worldwide. In every problem, discover the root cause. And our formula is sa tanong po kay Ma'am Glenn Mars sa Tinampay Navarro. Ano ang formula? Latin maxim. Causa et orico est materia negote. The cause and origin is the substance of the thing. Kaya, ano ang problema? You discover the root cause. And itong root cause is the origin. Kaya, you attack the root cause. You attack the origin. Because that speaks of the entirety of the problem. Kaya, if you have to attack the effect only, itong teenage pregnancy, you are attacking the effect by providing contraceptions. Para wala ng pregnancy, contraception ang defense. You are attacking the effect, not the root cause. And out of that, you cannot solve. You cannot solve 1 trillion %. Amen. Madam Anita Tabada. You cannot solve. That's congressional imprudence. Kaya we need the guidance. Now, the subject matter ngayon, kayo, ang mga youth, minamahal po natin, kayo na mga katipunan ng kabataan, aging 15 years old to 30 years old. Kayo mga officials ng katipunan ng kabataan, di sangguniang kabataan, 15 to 24 years old. You are the leaders of the country. You are the leaders of the continent. You are the leaders of the whole world in the 7th millennium. Ito ang guidance po ninyo. 5-star leadership manual. We have prepared for you. Doon po sa Bohol Quality Bookstore. At saka sa'yo, sangguniang kabataan. Legislative and Leadership Manual available at Bohol Quality Bookstore sa Low Books. Nandoon po ito. So, yan ang pinag-reserve po sa inyo. Now, ito. Ano ba? Republic Act No. 10354. Itong Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Health Act cannot solve child and teenage pregnancies, but it causes the multiplication of sex-based social problems. Ito talaga will multiply the sex-based social problems. Ano ang multiplication of problems? Because the wrong formula is the attack, the effect, the effectual problem, not the root cause of the problem. Yan. Kaya pag wrong formula, marami pong multiplication of problems. Number 1. We will now discuss on the effects for the children and teenagers. The high school to college students. That's adolescence. Adolescence po, as defined sa parang Section 2 o sa Reproductive Health Act, paragraph B, ito po talaga, yes, Section 4, paragraph B, no? Ito talaga, aging 10 years to 19 years old. Yan ang pinag-address. At saka, in general parlance, puberty age, magsugod na pagkaulitaw, pagkadalaga, up to the age of maturity, that's 20 years, 21 years of age as a general rule. But the RH Act, it's 10 to 19 years old. Now, ano ang effect? For the teenagers and the students or the high school to college students, through this act, it is instigating and tempting the children and teenagers to use contraceptives for sexual desires through sex education on safe sex propaganda, which would eventually cause to multiple pregnancies. Ang tanong po naman kay Regional Chairperson of Caraga Region, Madam Teresa Comita Arisa of the Philippine League of Secretaries to the Sanggunian. Ano ba talaga? There is a conflict between the law of the church and the law of the land, the law of the state. And which shall prevail? Ano ba? If there is a conflict, kapag mayroong conflict sa batas ng Panginoon at sa batas sa lupa, ano ba? Which shall first be obeyed? Ito. Kaya kayo mga iski, kayo mga katipunan ng kabataan, you should know the principles, the jurisprudence. Juris doctors will now spec in the hierarchy of laws para tayo, we will be guided the correct action. In the hierarchy of laws, number 1 is divine law, offered by God. Second, in the order of laws, moral law, the laws on moral values, authored by God. The virtues, ito talaga. And third, in the hierarchy of law, na law of nature. Ano ang law of nature? Balaod sa kinaiyahan. We will discuss on the law of nature. And the fourth in the hierarchy of laws, natural law. Yung natural law, the law of common sense. We have the common sense on what is right and what is wrong. And divine law, moral law, law of nature, natural law. The fifth, human positive law. At itong human positive law, highest ranking sa human positive law ay itong the Constitution of the Philippines. Kaya after the Constitution of the Philippines, itong mga batas, Republic Acts. Kaya nga, itong Republic Act, Reproductive Health Act of 2012, it ranks from the highest divine law, moral law, third, law of nature, fourth, natural law, fifth, this bundle of human positive law, fifth, constitution, pang-anim lang itong Reproductive Health Act. Kaya, this should be subject by the supremacy of the Constitution. And the Constitution is subject to the natural law. And this is under the law of nature, under the moral law, under the highest, the divine law. Ito talaga. Kaya, wrong solution, it will result to multiple pregnancies because it has something to do as if it is instigating or tempting para natintal ang mga kabataan o teenagers paghimog multiple sex gubikan niya ng gamit sa contraceptions as a solution which is wrong. Now, with that sex education. Number 2, effect sa mga estudyante. It diverts tuition fees and allowances for sexual desires with government-inspired use of contraceptives and post-abortion support of the government. So, unsa ba nahitabo? The question po kay igsuon kin yan chay. Ano ba? Ang mga budget sa mga estudyante. With the use of media, ano mangyari? Diversion ng economic. Ang mga ginikanan na maligyag, mga baka, mga baboy, etc. kanding, pero di ay gilakwat sara for multiple sex purposes. Just because there is a self-defense of contraceptions. Now, let's talk on the adolescents. Niyaw sa giingon. In Galatians chapter 5 verse 13, unsa giingon? Ayaw gamitan ninyo ang kagawasan, aron lamang kamo maghari ang lawas nung kaibog o kaulag. Ayaw gamitan. Do not use that freedom in order to penetrate and perpetuate that acts of lust and that is acts of immoralities. And in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 18 to 20, unsa ba gipadayag? As opened by Sir Abundio Bestasan Jr., flee from sexual immorality. Every other sin a person commits is outside the body, but the sexually immoral person sins against his own body. Nining putuha karon, there is a question on the sanctity of the human body. Kining maong Reproductive Health Act does not touch on the sanctity of the human body. No! 0%. This law passed by the Congress does not touch on the sanctity of the human sex. It does not touch. Parang godless. Kaya the solution is maunang sex education, solution is contraception, etc. What is the effect for the adolescents, especially sa adolescents, with this law? It legalizes, it somehow impliedly legalizes fornication. Ano ang fornication? It is sexual activity exclusive to the couple between persons who are not couple, who are singles. So, ang mga ulitaw og dalaga, naghimog buhat nga supposedly sagrado, naghimog buhat nga iya lamang sa mga magtiayon. And what happened? Because of the mass-based government-inspired usage of contraceptives through the application of Reproductive Health Act of 2012 with emphasis on the self-defense of the use of contraception. So, where is now? Nganong naingon ni because their formula is wrong. You are correct in a wrong way. You are correct in a wrong way. It's the way to hell. You are correct in providing with all the intellectual endeavors. You are correct diyan. But you are in a wrong way. Kaya the issue now is, where can you find in the law which prohibits the use of contraceptives to unmarried ones? Try to go over. Do na by provision nga gidili ang paggamit sa contraceptives for the unmarried ones? No, nothing. Kaya, ano mangyari? It promotes the works of the devil at the pretense of reproductive health. Now, dito po sa Section 2, Declaration of Policy, na doon po sa Declaration of Policy of that law, it declares ito, right to sustainable human development para sa inyo, sangguniang kabataan, para sa inyo, katipunan ng kabataan. You should be guided the correct terminology. You should be guided, kailangan kayo, that you will be guided for your bright future. Forget the wrongdoings of the past world. Your main law is the law of God because He is the creator of the entire universe. Any man-made law in this planet ranking number 6 lang ito. Ranking number 6. Kaya, pag may conflict, follow the divine law. Follow the moral law. Follow the law of nature. Follow the natural law. Ito ang mga batas offered, the four laws offered by God Himself. Kaya dito tayo sa itong Reproductive Health Act, Section 2, Declaration of Policy. Ano ang pinag-declare? Right to sustainable human development. Ano ang sustainable human development? If we have to comprehend ano ang human development, develop ang tao may life na from the fetus. I mean, from the moment there is a union of the egg and sperm cell forming what we call as the zygote. Ito, from that moment, mayroon ng human development. From pregnancy, may human development na. Sustainable human development, ito talaga galing pa sa maternal womb, from the moment the egg and the sperm cell meets. Ito talaga. But what is, take note, Satan is a master of falsification, deception, and diversion. Take note. Ano ang diversion? Gituis, tuison unsay correct. Tuison balit aron. Reverse, yan ang Satanism. Kaya, in the origin, our first parents, si Lula Eva, ano ba? Sabi ni Lula Eva, we will never eat that fruit. Sabi, because if we have to eat, kung amo ka ng kanon, mamatay kami. What Lucifer did? No! Hindi ito. Kaya he diverted. The truth was diverted. Yan ang nangyari. Yan ang nangyari. Sa mga terminologies, diverted talaga. Supposedly, the correct significance, the correct emphasis, the correct definition of the right to sustainable development based on the law of nature. Ito, ang law of nature. Ano ang law of nature? Ang lalaki, maging ama, in every ejaculation, mayroon pong minimum, take note, parang maging productive. Mayroon pong at least 15 million to 200 million sperm cells para maging productive siya. Hindi low count sa kaniyang sperm cells. Kapag below 15 million sperm cells, ang mangyari low sperm count, unproductive. Kaya out of those 15 million to 200 million sperm cells, that is on out of the semen, 1 teaspoon per ejaculation. Only one will survive to meet the climax with the winning egg cell of the woman. Now, what is the law of nature? Ito ang pinagbigay sa Panginoon. That is, combining the law of nature and the divine law, ito ang mangyari. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 17, the giver of life is God through the soul. Through the soul. Kaya God is the creator. He is the source of life. What gives life is not the body. Kaya if the soul departs from the body, kung ang kalag mapalayo na kana sa lawas, patay ang lawas. The soul originates from God, the owner of life. Ito, Genesis 2:17, by the breath of God. Kaya He is the Creator. Ephesians chapter 1 verse 4, divine law po ito. We are talking on divine law mixed with the law of nature. And mixed with the moral law, mixed with the natural law. Ano ba ang nangyari? In Ephesians chapter 1 verse 4, before He created the entire universe, He has already a plan for us. May plano na siya sa atin. Kaya nga, pag meet na ito, tayo, the parents, naging procreator. Bakit procreator? Not creator. Because there is only one creator, God, through the soul. Kaya, pag love making na sa parents, ito, love making, bakit the author of life is God? Because imagine, out of 200 million sperm cells per ejaculation, that is per round sa love making, only one will survive. If in one day, 3 times or 5 times mag-love making, so multiply that 200 million times 5, 800 million. Kapag 5 days times 5, multiply it, billions ang mangyari. Billions or trillions of sperm cells sa lalaki, but only one ang manalo. It's the power of God by the law of nature. By the divine law, He is the author of life. Kaya, ang tao, babae at lalaki, procreators, because it is through the reproductive organ na magkabuo ng katawan ng tao. Kaya, if we speak on right to sustainable human development, you cannot correctly define it in the absence of God. Kaya, sa tanong po kay Prex Aldrin Castel of Basdaco, Lintuan, Luon, Bohol, ano ba talaga? If you go out from God, pag walang Panginoon, you will never reach the destination. You are wrong in your legal profession. Even how bright you are, even you're the Bartak Nutcher, wala kang magawa. Because God, away from God, away from the origin of life, you are the worst, the bottom of all. Mao hinungdan nga sa 1 Korinto, Kapitulo 1, 26-29, pakaulawan ng mga makinadmanon sa mga ordinaryo. Pakaulawan. And so, how can there be a sustainable human development when at the very beginning, life is murdered through contraceptive devices? You claim to have the right to sustainable human development? Inyong gipatuo nga mao kini ang right sa sustainable human development, but you are murdering life preemptive before you are hindering the chances for procreation by the use of contraceptives. Where is right to sustainable human development? You are pretending to claim that right to sustainable human development, but the purpose is not human development. Hinder ito. Kaya the technicality of Satan, twisting the truth. Ito talaga. Right to sustainable human development implies ano ang significance? What is the correct significance of the right to sustainable human development? It implies pro-life. Pro-life po ito. Kaya if we speak na mayroon tayong right to sustainable human development, it means we are pro-life. But the usage of contraceptive devices is a strong manifestation of anti-life policy. Under this RH Act, reproductive health, kunuhay, gigamit ang contraception, it is anti-life, not pro-life, and therefore, where is human development? And therefore, it is a violation of the real essence of the right to sustainable human development. But the logic of Satan is topsy-turvy. The logic of Satan is inconsistency. Makita nimo nga paingon ari diri pero di ay palayo. Inconsistent, that is res ipsa loquitur. Unsang res ipsa loquitur, the things speak for itself. And for you, sangguni ang kabataan, you should be consistent in your leadership. Master this 5-star leadership manual, 55 rules on leadership. Master the legislative and leadership manual. Youth, ito sa inyo. Leadership na. The Generation X, Generation Y, and Generation Z. Ito ang leadership for the 7th millennium. Number 2, they are claiming to have the right to health. Correct. Right to health. And this right to health includes the right to reproductive health. Sabi po, it includes the right to reproductive health. Ano ba talaga ito? If we have to digest research everything without diverting the real meaning, we have to source out the law of nature. Ano ang law of nature? Ang nature po sa reproductive health. Kaya if we have to speak right, do not be misled. That right is not wrong. Right is right. Wrong cannot be right. Take note. That is the logic, the process of exact thinking. And so, itong right to reproductive health, sa'yo, mga katipunan ng mga kabataan, it is the right of the male and female parents whose reproductive systems work together to reproduce based on their two kinds of sex cells. Ano ba itong right to reproductive health? Yung tama based on the law of nature na definition? Mao kini ang katungod sa lalaki o sa babae nga ginikanan. Whose reproductive systems? Because ang katawan po natin mayroong 11 organ systems. Mayroon tayong nervous system, muscular system, skeletal system, digestive system, respiratory system, cardiovascular system, endocrine system. Napakarami pang tanong kay Madam Wars Orevillio or UK, Secretary of Trinidad, Bohol. Kaya, the 11th na organ system po sa 11 organ systems natin, reproductive system. So, male reproductive system, female reproductive system. Kaya nga, speaking on the right to reproductive health, number 1, male and female. Point number 1. Point number 2, mayroon pong reproductive system. Male reproductive system, female reproductive system. Point number 3, they work together, itong male and female reproductive system will work together to reproduce. Anong ibig sabihin? Reproduce. Ano ba ang reproduce? Reduce o multiply? Yan ang tanong. Logic po ito. We are now integrating the divine law. We are now integrating with the law of nature. And we are now using logic, process of exact thinking. That is natural law. Divine law, law of nature, mixed with natural law. That is logic, process of exact thinking. Ano ang natural law? Ito. By the law of nature, ang male reproductive system times female reproductive system, mag-meet po sila. So sa lalaki, a minimum of 15 million to 200 million sperm cells in one ejaculation. One teaspoon of semen containing 200 million sperm cells. Only one will survive. And that champion, mag-meet sa egg cell, ito po, maging zygote. Ang zygote, yan ang effect, reproduce. Kaya speaking on reproductive health, mag-reproduce po talaga. Based on their two kinds of cells. Kaya sex cells, dalawa lang ore, law of nature na tayo. Dalawa lang ang sex cells. Itong combined po ito, gametes. Gametes. So, ang dalawang sex cells, ang male's sperm cell met with another champion na female egg cell, in which among the 15 million to 200 million sperm cells, only one match with the egg cell. And if fertilized, itong dalawa, they shall create a zygote. And that zygote shall eventually becomes a fetus. Kaya maging buhay talaga. To which both sperm and egg cells are needed for reproduction. Kaya nga, the right understanding, the correct understanding of the right to reproductive health based on the divine law, based on the law of nature, based on natural law, it is reproduction. But where is right to reproductive health? What is doing? Ano ang ginawa sa batas? Hindi reproduction. Depopulation. Anong depopulation? Huwag kang mag-multiply. Do not multiply. Use contraceptive devices and mechanisms. In other words, opposite. Kaya Satan is diverting the truth, twisting the truth, deceiving the people. This is deception. Yan ang nangyari. Because we are colonized by the Western deceptions. We are just following the Western deceptions. We dance with the music. Kayo, mga iski, stand the truth. Now, is the right of the parents to reproduce lives on earth in accord with the law of nature? Unsa ba ang law of nature? Let us not twist the definition. The correct meaning of right, ano ba ang right? If we speak on right, it is founded on righteousness. Wala pong right if not founded on righteousness. Ano ba talaga ang righteousness? Ang righteousness is founded on truthfulness. The foundation of righteousness is truthfulness. Ano ang nangyari ngayon? They claim to have right, but there is no righteousness. Wrong ka na. That is jurisprudence. Correct the wrong. The wrong jurisprudence. Juris Doctor's law. Juris Doctor's role is to doctor, to correct the wrong system. Do not penetrate. Do not implement the wrong system. diversion of what is right. And so, the wrong, which is an error, the wrong, which is falsehood, the wrong, which is absence of accuracy, ang sayop nga dili insakto, ang sayop nga dili tinuod. The wrong, which is the absence of right. A wrong cannot be a basis of a right. Ang sayop dili mao'y mahimong dugukan sa usa ka right. You claim that it is my right, but you are wrong. You invoke right when you are wrong. The role of Satan is to make himself right when he is wrong. Ang trabaho ni Satanas, mao ang pag-ingon nga siya insakto. Diin siya wrong. Kaya John chapter 8 verse 44, nagsabi ang Panginoon, be careful. You are children of Satan. Satan who is a master of lies. Satan who is a master of deception. He is the father of all disorders, murders, and deaths in this planet Earth. Si Satanas. Mo'y tag-iya sa kaguliyang Satanas. And we will never allow the sangguniang kabataan in the Philippines. We will never allow the katipunan ng kabataan in the Philippines to be the victims of this wrong system. We will defend the youth. We will defend the young generations. We will defend the millennials. We will defend the generation Y. We will defend the generation Z. We will defend the generation Alpha. Now, nining puntuha karon. What is that reproductive system? Let's go back with the law of nature. It is the genital biological system made up of all the anatomical organs involved in sexual reproduction. So in other words, kung muhisgot kitag reproductive system, it has something to do with sexual reproduction. Unsa bay sexual reproduction? Musanay ka. You speak on reproductive system, musanay ka. You will be multiplied. Kaya, the first commandment of God before the Ten Commandments, the first of all His commandments, go to the world and multiply. Kaya, number one batas sa Panginoon is reproduction. It has something to do with reproductive organ. Yan ang batas. The basic why? Because it is through the reproductive organ. It is through the reproductive system na ang buhay ng tao. We are participating the divine plan of procreations. So ingon ini ang dagan. And that system of reproduction should be done in a sanctified manner. Yan, the proper usage of sex. This is now the issue on sex sanctity. Sex sanctity. Kaya, what is the meaning of reproduction? Go back to the dictionary. Speaking on dictionary, it governs natural law. Ngano ba? Ngang dictionary, mao may mugiya sa natural law. Natural law guides us to balance our thinking for the right and correct decision. Process of exact thinking. Kaya, ang natural law, mao na kinimugiya nga isakto ang atong pamalanse. Doon na tayo logic, process of exact thinking. So that we can have the process of exact thinking refer to some references, dictionary, the meaning itself. Kaya ang tanong po kay Idol Signarf, the composer and the interpreter, drummer, singer, ano ang reproduction? Reproduction is the production of offspring by a sexual or asexual process. Unsay reproduction? Ang reproduction mao'y production. Gitawag bitaw na siya og reproduce. Nganong reproduce? Because you produce. And what you are going to produce are the offspring, imong mga kaliwat. So you speak on reproductive health. You speak on reproductive system. Where is reproduction if putlo nimo ang kinabuhi? Through contraception. Timbalong kang dako. Satanism is opposite logic. Satanism is inconsistency. Res ipsa loquitur. Satanism is anti-life. Kaya itong batas na ito ay anti-life dahil ang origin po dito igaling sa European. Ang authors po ito European, American. Gusto nila of the 8 billion people worldwide, only 1% of the 8 billion, they rule entire planet. They have uniform policy, depopulation. Ano ang kanilang depopulation? Do not multiply. Anti-life, anti-God. Kaya, Filipinos, Boholanos, Ophirians, the real Hebrews, musunod ka nining mga tamsos, mga bakukang, nga mga Western brain, nga mo'y miaga ka na to. What do you think? Remember, in the whole world, remember, the world is divided into 3 according to chronology, according to time, in the development of the world. Number 1 is the old world. The leadership of the world, take note, is divided into 3. The first leadership of the world is what we call as the old world. The leaders of the old world, mao katong European leaders, Europe. Ngadto na sa 14th, 15th century. The second leaders of the world, mauna ang gitawag og New World. Ang New World nga leaders of the world, mao ang America, centered sa United States of America. And it happened. Ang Amerika mo na milid na sa tibok kalibutan o gigamit nila ang New World Order, Illuminati. Nahimo ka na nila. They are the leaders of the world. And the old world, European, centered on Great Britain, times the New World, centered on the United States of America, gitawag na sila og Western leaders, Western civilization, Western leadership. Kining duha ka mga continents nga English jamo pod, mao ni mi dominar sa tibuok kalibutan. Sila po ang nagdominate sa buong mundo. Kaya nga ang third world countries, speaking on economic system, sila ang first world countries, capitalist. Ang second world countries, communist, socialist, sila pa rin. Ang third world countries, insofar as the economic standing, tayo, Asians, Latin America, itong Africa, third world countries, sila ang nag-dominate sa atin. Is this domination, is this mental colonization perpetual? No! No! Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 to 11. God controls time. Tapos na kayo. Now with the rise, stand firm with the 5-star leadership manual. Kayo, katipunan ng mga kabataan. Millions na katipunan ng kabataan sa buong bansang Pilipinas. Tibuok Pilipinas, aging 15 years old to 30 years old. Sa'yo, mga sangguniang kabataan, leaders, legislative, and leadership youth manual, we will triumph. And you will become the leaders of the world. You will become the leaders of the world. 1 trillion %. Ipapaano kayo maging leaders? Because back to the main issue. Itong old world Europe, new world America, pagdating sa panahon, after the leadership of America, comes the leadership of Asia. Asia na mag-lead sa buong mundo. Asia. And itong Asia, as emphasized by the ACA chairman Glenn Bitar, ang future world po ito. Kailan ba ang future world? Anos ang future world? Now starts. Ngayon nagsimula, 2023. The implementation of the future world. The future is now the present. Kaya, implementation na tayo. The world is in crisis of leaders. Yan magsimula. Kaya ang Bohol is declared as a turtle map po ito sa buong mundo. Turtle po ang Bohol. Slowly but surely, dito magsimula. Dr. Jose P. Rizal said, the center of Ophir is Polilo, and that Polilo is Bohol. Ano ba ang Ophir? Ophir is the Philippines, the original name of the Philippines. The center of the Philippines is Polilo, and that is Bohol. Kaya starting from Bohol to the Philippines. And the Philippines ay maging leader in the entire Asia. Maging leader po ito sa entire Asia. Ang Tawi-Tawi, maging the new Singapore of the Philippines. Dito po sa Lanao del Sur, may lugar na El Chio, maging new Dubai of the Philippines. With the federal system of governance of the Philippines, the superpower Philippines will govern entire world. And may biblical support po ito. Isaiah chapter 60 verse 12. What nation that shall never surrender? Anong bansa na hindi magsunod sa inyo? They will be wiped out from the map. Mawala po sa mapa. In Revelation chapter 2, verse 26 to 27, you will rule whole world kayo. And I'll give you the power to govern whole world. Yan ang strength of the Philippines. Sino ba ang mga leaders? Ito bang mga leaders, mga senators na old world na kayo? Pahuway na mo, oy. Pahuway na mo. Slip na, pahuway na kayo. The leaders of the future world now, ito, Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Z, and the beneficiaries, Alpha Generation. Ito na, master the 55 rules on leadership. Master sa legislative and youth leadership manual. Ito talaga. And so balik tayo. Ito ang offspring. Kaya, where the law, wherefore? Ang tanong po, ang pangutana ni Vincent Cruzit Uyaw nga milibot sa tibuok Bohol with Chairman Glenn Bitar. Kay ilang gigaman og complete plan ang Bohol. Bohol will be the center for the 7th millennium. and Bohol as the center of the Philippine global development. With all humility, ito na ang pundasyon. Kaya leaders, get ready. Get ready, sacred po ito. Now, wherefore, where the law should be pro-life for reproduction of offspring, not anti-life. Ang balaod kinahanglan pro-life for reproduction of offspring, pagpadaghan sa mga anak, dili anti-life. And this are its law is in favor of the population. It instigates, it favors, it educates, it leads the students who are children and teenagers how to practice safe sex through the use of contraceptive devices with sex education. Mao kini ang nahitabo. Now another one, niya pag right nga ilang gi-claim, ila bang gihaman kining right, not knowing that they are wrong. Nagumuham sila sa right, but they are wrong. What right nga ilang gihaman? Right to education and information. They are using this right to information and education. How? Through sex education. They are spreading and using the educational system on how to use contraceptive devices, on educating them to prevent child and teenage pregnancies para dili mamapdos. And they are using the right to education and information. Are they correct? Wrong. Wrong. 1,000,000,000% wrong. No one has the right to do wrong. Kung gamiton nimo ang maong educational system to teach the students to violate divine law para pagsupak sa balaod sa Dios. Kung gamiton nimo ang education pagguba sa moral law to destroy the moral law, if you use that education at the pretense of right to education and information to destroy the law of nature, you are wrong. You are wrong. No person, even the government, has the right to inform and educate a person how to do wrong. Walay tao nga dunay katungod, bisan pag ikaw gobyerno, to claim that right, to inform and educate a person how to do wrong. Dili ba gitun-an mga kabataan? To violate the law of nature? Dili ba? Nining puntuha karon sa pagtuunan niya na the violation of the law of nature? Dili ba? Unya pag-violate na sa law of nature para dili kunuhay mamagdos. Gi-violate ang moral law. Nining puntuha karon. The laws offered by God are violated. And that is by doing wrong. Now, listen to the Pro-Life Summit 2023. Here is the solution. Because we are digesting now your wrong solution. Inyong gisubay ang effectual solution. But the Development Academy of the Philippines, DAP, in a seminar has confirmed that our findings, our decision, our solution is perfectly correct. We have traced up nga dunay duha ka problema, effectual problem and causal problem. You cannot solve a problem by attacking the effect, which is the problem. Dili ka kasolba diyan. You can solve the problem by attacking the root cause. ang inyong buhaton root cause. Because that root cause is the origin of the problem. So pagsulbad na niya na everything is solved. Now we will offer the root cause problem. And that is the way to solving the problem. Now what is the root cause? Ang root cause nining teenage pregnancy, mao ang misguidance of the young generations on the sanctity of sex, the sanctity of life. Simple sentence. Simple sentence. Ang root cause ra di ay niini, ngano ba, nga ngatong mga kabataan, mapaturatoy na laghabal, mapaturatoy na lagtakmag, o na ang kababayan, magpaturatoy na lagbilangkad, bisan asa, hala obdok diha, obdok dire, borot dire, borot dito. Ang hinungdan ra di ay niini diya sa utok. That's in the brain. That is misguidance on the sanctity of sex. In other words, the solution that the government should do is to support the church. And what is the role of the church? To spread out the good gospel, the sanctity of sex. Nga ang ato di ay reproductive organ is very, very sacred. Most sacred. Kana mo i-indoctrinate into the minds of the people, lalo na sa kabatipunan ng kabataan, sa sangguniang kabataan. Ugon sabay indoctrinate karon. Ang gi-indoctrinate karon mauna. Tanawara mga advertisements, mga paa. Tanawara naghubo-hubo, tanawara. It is indoctrinating the acts of lust. Tanawara ng mga mes diya, tanawara. Is there a beauty pageant promoting virginity and chastity? No. Wala. Nothing. Can you find any contest, beauty contest, on the most virgin lady? Nothing. Kaya there should be a system, a program on promoting the sex sanctity. And the government shall support that. Ang gobyerno mo suportar diya na ito ang solusyon. Kaya, kamo nga mga kabataan, katipunan ng kabataan, our reproductive system, keep it safe. Keep it secret. Kami, si Saint Augustine is the champion of immoralities. Si Saint Augustine was a champion of all tanang mga binuang. Kung naa pa day adis number 1 to. But why Saint Augustine became the greatest, one of the greatest saints? Ito ang reason. Great saints were great sinners. Kantong mga ngilngig nga mga santo sama ni San Agustin, mao sila ang mga ngilngig nga mga makasasala. They have experienced the evil lives in this planet Earth. And because they are expert on the evil lives of this planet Earth, then they reversed everything. Romans 12 verse 21, they reversed. Ito ang tuwid, ito ang tamang daan. Kini mo'y sakto nga dalan. And so for the sangguniang kabataan, for the katipunan ng kabataan, listen, ano ang solusyon? The solution in one phraseology as introduced by the sacred doctor of sacred theology, Monsignor Ronald Quijano during the Pro-Life Summit in Cebu, March 24 to 25, convened by the Living Saint, Dr. Rene Joseph Buluser. The solution ni karon mao because misguidance man on the sanctity of sex, on misguidance man on the sanctity of life. The solution is theology of the body. One phrase, theology of the body. And what is theology of the body? Mao kini ang solusyon. Listen to the teaching authority of the church. This theology of the body was introduced based on the pontificate of the Vatican founded by Pope John Paul II, 1991. And the pioneering professors trained at the pontificate, mao si Reverend Father Ronald Quijano, niadtong 1999 and now a Monsignor assigned in Bacolod City, Diocese of Bacolod. They protected the sanctity of the doctrines against conspiracy on faith, health, life, and family. Nasayod ba kita? Giguba kining faith, giguba ang health, giguba ang life, giguba ang family. Everything is destroyed. Everything is destroyed. Kaya the solution is theology of the body. Ano ang theology of the body? Ito talaga. Si Pope Francis mipadayag. Gender ideology is one of the most dangerous ideological colonization today. Matud pa sa Santo Papa, kining gender ideology, nga giguba ang female identity, destroying the male identity, giguba ang pagkalaki, giguba ang pagkababae. It is the worst and the most dangerous ideological colonization today. O ginigirambul ka na, miditso na ka na all the 6 issues nining kalibutan. And that is Western foolishness colonizing the world. Mao ni tinuntog kabuang sa Western world that enslaved the foolishness of the world, which is anti-God, anti-life, anti-nature, and that created the culture of death. So ang nahitabo ni ini, nahimo kitang culture of death, kamatayon. Wa na makadimao na surambaw na. Ngano kay wala makatugad unsa ang theology of the body. Now that Asia will rise as the future of the world, the 7th millennium leadership is social transformation. Nining puntuha karon, that theology of the body mao na kini. Ang theology of the body, 1 Corinto 3:16. Unsa ang 1 Corinto? 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 16. That our body is the temple, the residence, the dwelling place of the Holy Spirit. Kini di ang atong lawas, mao kini ang Pinoyanan, mao kini ang lublubanan, mao kini ang pahulayanan, mao kini dinhi nagpuyo ang Dios Espiritu Santo. And so, because the body is holy, that is sanctity, sacred. The sex is sacred. And because the sex is sacred, it cannot be used in any aspect of sexual endeavors. The sex should be used to most proper person. Of the billions of people in the world, sex shall be used in the most proper person, most proper place, most proper time, and in most proper manner. For the ladies, kinsabay na siguro ng inyong uyab mao nay mahimong bana. It is sa lalaki, aggressive ang lalaki. Kung pansa gani ang babae, tukbon na diretso. So ang babae who is well-principled, a lady who is guided by Marian guidance, has a strong principle. The highest gift that a lady can give to her future husband, labing dako nga gasa nga ihatag sa babae ngadto sa iyang pana, mao ang iyang kaputli. Virginity. Virginity. Kaya ito talaga sanctity. Now, if there is the concept of sanctity, walang childhood pregnancy. Walang teenage pregnancy. Why? Everyone is holy. Everyone is holy. In other words, matag usa santos, buhing santos. The solution to our social problems is holiness. The solution to our problems is santos, santos, santos. Yan ang solution. That is theology of the body. It is not condom. It is not pills. It is theology of the body. Unsay theology of the body? Nga atong lawas mauni pinuyanan sa Espiritu Santo. Kita mga buhing santos. Ang Ginoo Espiritu Santo nagpuyo sa atong lawas. Kumakatawan po sa ating katawan ang Panginoon. Kaya iyan ang solusyon. So sayo, mga iski, saan guni ang kabataan? Sayo, katipunan ng kabataan. Iyan ang solusyon. Ito, ang theology of the body, ang katawan po ay sagrado. Very sacred. Very sacred. And in the 7th millennium, once we can preserve, kayong mga babae, preserve your virginity. Preserve. And once you can do it, congratulations. You are a winner sa iyo magsimula. Ang Isaiah 65 verse 20, a minimum of 100 years. Supernatural graces. Ito. Supernatural graces. The paradise restored. May balik ang paraiso. There can be no right out of the wrong. There can be no right out of the wrong. Forget Western influence. Forget. Past is past. Start anew. Start leadership in the Philippines. Start leadership in Asia. We are the leaders. You, kayo, mga sangguni ang kabataan. Kayo, katipunan ng kabataan. Tayong lahat. Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Z. Triple generations. The leaders of the Philippines. The leaders of the future. The leaders of the 7th millennium. Santos, Santos, Santos. Amen and Amen.